9 Japanese habits that quietly keep you getting rich without working hard. Ever notice how Japan has more millionaires per capita than almost any country on earth, yet they barely hustle? While Americans are burning out working 60-hour weeks, the Japanese are quietly building wealth without the grind, the stress, or the side hustles. What's their secret? Here's what's crazy. It's not about working harder. It's about 9 simple habits that most Americans completely ignore until it's too late. These aren't complicated strategies. They're everyday practices that compound into serious wealth over time. And the best part? You can start any of them today, no matter your age or income. Stick with me until the end, because habit number 9 is the one nobody talks about, and it might be the most important of all. If you're ready to stop working yourself to death and start building wealth the smart way, hit that subscribe button and comment "Quiet Wealth" so I know you're serious. Let's dive in. Here's the first habit that changes everything. Habit 1. Kaizen. The 1% daily improvement rule. Look, I know what you're thinking. You've seen those Instagram gurus screaming, "Quit your job, start a business, grind 24/7. And honestly, that's exhausting just watching them. Here's the thing Americans get wrong about wealth. We think we need to make some massive Hollywood-style transformation overnight. We want to go from broke to Bezos by Tuesday. But the Japanese, they laugh at that nonsense. Let me tell you about a principle that's been quietly building millionaires in Japan for centuries. Kaizen. It literally means continuous improvement. But here's what's crazy. They're not talking about massive change. They're talking about getting just 1% better every single day. Sounds boring, right? Here's where it gets wild. If you improve just 1% daily for 1 year, you're not 365% better. You're 37 times better. Yeah, I had to check the math twice too. That's compound interest on steroids, applied to your life. There's this ancient story from Babylon about a man named Arkad, the richest man in the city. Everyone asked him, "What's your secret?" And you know what he said? "I started by saving 1 coin from every 10 I earned." 1 coin. Not half his paycheck. Not some insane sacrifice. Just 1 coin, about 10%. That single decision repeated daily made him wealthier than kings. Here's your action plan. This week, increase your savings by just 1%. If you're saving $100 monthly, make it $101. Next month, well, $102. It feels like nothing. That's the point. Your brain doesn't resist it. But in 12 months, you're saving $112 monthly without breaking a sweat. In 5 years, you've built a habit that's unstoppable. Or try this. Spend 15 minutes daily learning about investing. Just 15 minutes. That's 1 TikTok scroll session. In a year, you've got 91 hours of financial education, enough to outpace 90% of Americans who never learn this stuff at all. There's a Japanese carpenter who sharpens his tools for 5 minutes every morning. Just 5 minutes. After 40 years, his students asked why his work was flawless. He smiled and said, "A sharp blade cuts effortlessly. A dull one requires force." Here's the truth about wealth most people miss. It's not built in explosive, burnout-inducing leaps. It's carved through patient, daily refinement. The rich don't sprint, they compound. And compounding doesn't care about your dramatic New Year's resolution. It cares about what you do today and tomorrow and the day after that. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people. Habit 2. Mottainai, the sacred anti-waste philosophy. Okay, real talk. When's the last time you threw away food because it looked weird? Or upgraded your phone even though the old one worked fine? Or bought something on Amazon at 2 a.m. that's still in the box 6 months later? Yeah, I see you. We've all been there. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The average American household wastes $1,800 yearly on food alone. That's not counting the phone upgrades, the gym memberships we never use, or those jeans that don't fit right after one wear. We're bleeding money and don't even realize it because, let's be honest, we've been trained to consume, not conserve. The Japanese have a word that would make most Americans uncomfortable: Mottainai. It means, what a waste. But it's deeper than that. It's almost spiritual. It's the feeling of guilt and regret when something valuable is wasted. And here's where it gets interesting. They don't just apply it to food. They apply it to money, time, relationships, everything. There's an ancient Jewish teaching called Bal Tashit. It means do not destroy. The rabbis tell a story about a student who dropped a single grain of wheat. His teacher made him pick it up, saying, "This grain could feed someone. This grain could become 1,000 grains. You've just thrown away potential life." That's the mindset. Now, I'm not saying you need to fish breadcrumbs out of your couch cushions, but imagine if you treated every dollar like it had potential to multiply, because it does. Here's your reality check. Open your bank statement right now. Circle every subscription you forgot about. Every just this once purchase became just every week. Track your waste money for 30 days. Money spent on stuff you didn't use, need, or remember buying. I guarantee you'll be shocked. Most people find $200 to $500 monthly just disappearing. The Japanese have a rule. Repair first, replace last. Does your coffee maker break? Fix it. Are your shoes worn down? Resolve them. Americans laugh at this. Just buy new. But here's what they miss. Every time you choose repair over replacement, you're voting for wealth over waste. I met a 78-year-old Japanese woman who still uses the same rice cooker from her wedding 52 years ago. She doesn't do it because she's cheap. She does it because she respects what she has. She told me, "This cooker has fed my children, my grandchildren. Why would I throw away something so faithful?" That hit different. Here's the wealth principle. Every dollar wasted today is a future opportunity stolen from tomorrow. That $5 latte? That's $5 that could have compounded into $50 in 10 years. That impulse Amazon purchase? That's $1,000 of potential growth you just vaporized. The wealthy, the really wealthy, don't waste. Not because they're stingy, but because they see money as seeds, not snacks. And seeds don't grow in the trash. Wait. There's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything. Habit 3. Ikigai, purpose-driven money strategy. Because here's what actually destroys wealth faster than any market crash. Working a job you hate just for the paycheck. I know. You're thinking, well, yeah, welcome to adulthood. But hear me out. When you're miserable at work, something dangerous happens. You start buying happiness. That $200 online shopping spree at midnight? That's not you being irresponsible. That's you medicating a Monday through Friday wound with a Saturday credit card swipe. Americans are trapped in this brutal cycle. Hate job, earn money, spend money to feel better, need money, stay in a job we hate. Rinse, repeat, retire broke and bitter. Meanwhile, the Japanese figured out something we're just too stubborn to admit. You can't build lasting wealth when your soul is bankrupt. There's this parable in the Bible about a rich farmer. Guy had so much grain, he built bigger barns, bigger warehouses, sat back thinking, I'm set for life, time to retire and party. That very night he died. And Jesus asked the kicker question, what good is all that wealth if you never lived? That's the trap we're in. The Japanese have this concept called Ikigai, your reason for being. Picture 4 circles overlapping. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what pays. Where all 4 meet. That's your Ikigai. That's where you stop hustling and start living rich. Here's what shocked me. In Okinawa, Japan, where people live past 100, they don't even have a word for retirement. Because when you're doing your Ikigai, why would you stop? Work isn't draining you, it's fueling you. And when you're fueled instead of drained, you're not impulse buying your way through life. Let me give you something practical. Grab a piece of paper right now. Draw those 4 circles. Be brutally honest. What do you actually love doing? Not what sounds impressive. What makes you lose track of time? What are you legitimately good at? What do people ask for your help with? What does the world need? What problem keeps showing up in your life? What can actually pay you? Now here's the magic question most people skip. How much is enough? Seriously, what's your number? Not billionaire on a yacht, rich, just enough to live your purpose without stress. For most people, it's way less than they think. Maybe it's $60,000 a year, maybe it's $120,000. But once you define enough, everything else becomes noise. There's a fisherman in a small Japanese village. A businessman visited and said, "You could catch more fish, hire workers, expand." The fisherman asked, "Then what?" "Then you'd be rich and could retire." "And do what?" "Fish for fun and spend time with family." The fisherman smiled. "That's what I'm doing now." That story messes with people because we've been sold this lie that more is always better. But here's the truth the wealthy know. True wealth is having enough to live your purpose, not endlessly chasing more. When your work aligns with your Ikigai, you work less frantically, earn more naturally, and stop using shopping as therapy. That's not woo-woo nonsense. That's basic math. Less emotional spending plus more aligned income equals actual wealth. You think you've understood everything? There's a detail that few people notice, but it's extremely important. Habit 4. Kakeibo, the mindful money journaling. Because even with that purpose locked in, most of us still have no clue where our money actually goes. Let me guess, you've downloaded a budgeting app, maybe 3. You linked your bank account, categorized everything automatically, and felt super organized for about 48 hours? Then you stopped checking it. The app kept tracking, but you kept spending. Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable reality. Automation doesn't create awareness. It creates the illusion of control. You're not actually thinking about money. You're just letting an algorithm watch it disappear. It's like putting your life on autopilot and wondering why you ended up somewhere you never wanted to go. The Japanese have been doing something for over a century that seems almost ridiculous in our smartphone age. They write down their spending, by hand, in a notebook. Every single purchase. I can hear you groaning from here. That's so old school. I don't have time for that. But that's exactly the point. We don't make time to think about our money, so our money doesn't stick around. There's this Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, crazy powerful guy, who wrote in his journal every single day. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He was talking about life, but man, does that apply to money. You can't control the economy, taxes, or inflation. But you absolutely control what you're aware of. And you can't fix what you refuse to face. Kakeibo is a Japanese budgeting journal, but it's way simpler than you think. Before you spend money, especially anything over $20, you answer 4 questions. How much money do I have? Not just in checking. Total available funds. How much would I like to save this month? Your goal. How much am I spending? Add it up. This is the scary part. How can I improve? The question that changes everything. That's it. No complicated spreadsheets, no color-coded categories, just brutal, honest awareness. Here's what happens when you write by hand. Your brain actually processes it differently. Typing is mechanical. Writing is physical. When you physically write 6 to 50 on coffee for the 3rd time this week, something clicks. You see the pattern. You feel the waste. It becomes real in a way apps never do. I watched a friend start doing this. First week, she was shocked. Didn't realize she spent $89 on DoorDash. Second week, she got mad at herself. Third week, she started asking that 4th question, how can I improve? By month 2, she'd saved an extra $340 without feeling deprived. She just became aware of the leaks. There's a story about a Japanese father who gave his 10-year-old daughter a notebook. Every week, she had to write down what she earned, allowance, gifts, and what she spent. Every Sunday, they reviewed it together. No judgment, just questions. Why did you buy that? Did it make you happy? Would you buy it again? By the time she turned 30, she bought her first house, cash. Not because she made tons of money, because she never spent unconsciously. Here's the truth that apps can't teach you. Awareness is the first step to wealth. You can't fix what you don't face. Buy a small notebook. Nothing fancy. $3 at Target works. Before you spend more than $20 on anything, write it down. Don't wait until later. You'll forget or lie to yourself. Write it immediately. At the end of each week, ask yourself, where did I waste money this week? Just that question, asked honestly, will change your financial life. But that's just the obvious part. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference. Habit 5. The self-reflection ritual. Because writing down your spending is pointless if you keep making the same dumb mistakes over and over. And let's be real, we all do this. You swear you'll stop stress buying stuff on Amazon at 2 a.m. 3 weeks later, you're tracking another package you don't remember ordering. You promise yourself no more credit card debt. 6 months later, you're juggling balances like a circus act. We know what we're doing wrong. We just keep doing it anyway. Americans have this weird relationship with failure. We either pretend it didn't happen, or we beat ourselves up so badly we can't learn from it. It's either, oh well, I'll do better next time. They did not do better next time. Or, I'm terrible with money, I'll never figure this out. Both approaches keep you broke. The Japanese have a practice that makes most Americans uncomfortable, hansei. It means self-reflection, but it's deeper than that. It's structured, scheduled accountability with yourself. And here's what makes it powerful. It's not about guilt, it's about extraction. What lesson can you pull from that mistake? There's this wisdom from ancient Babylon called the 5 laws of gold. The 4th law says, gold slips away from those who invest in businesses they don't understand. Translation? Learn from your losses. Every bad investment, every impulse purchase, every financial faceplant. There's a lesson buried in there. But most people are too busy running to the next shiny thing to dig it out. Here's your hansei ritual. Every Sunday evening, give yourself 15 minutes, not to scroll TikTok, to sit with your money decisions from the past week. Ask yourself 3 non-negotiable questions. What money mistake did I make this week? Be specific. I spent $45 on lunch 3 times because I didn't meal prep. Not, I spent too much. Why did I make it? Dig deeper. Because I was stressed at work and didn't want to think about food. How do I prevent it next time? Create a rule. Sunday night, prep 3 work lunches. Set phone reminder. That's it. 15 minutes. 1 mistake, 1 lesson, 1 preventive rule. The difference between someone who stays broke and someone who builds wealth isn't that the wealthy don't make mistakes. It's that they refuse to make the same mistake twice. They extract, they adjust, they evolve. I love this story about a Toyota engineer in the 1980s. He made a critical error that cost the company thousands. He walked into his manager's office expecting to be fired. Instead, his manager handed him a notebook and said, "Write your hansei report." What happened? Why? How do we prevent it company-wide? That engineer didn't get fired. He got promoted. Years later, he became a director. Why? Because Toyota values people who learn more than people who never fail. Here's what most people don't realize. The wealthy don't avoid mistakes. They extract wisdom from every dollar lost. That $500 you blew on a sure thing crypto coin, that's not a failure. That's a $500 lesson in due diligence. But only if you actually sit down and ask what went wrong. Start small. Next Sunday, 15 minutes. 1 financial mistake from this week, write it down. Not in your head, on paper. Your brain lies to you. Paper doesn't. Then create 1 simple rule to prevent it. Just 1. Because here's the truth. You'll never be perfect with money, but you can get 1% better every week by simply paying attention to your patterns. That's 52% better in a year. That's life-changing in 5. Wait, the most important part is in the following story. Habit 6. Relationship wealth. Because all the money habits in the world won't matter if you keep burning bridges to get ahead. I see this all the time. Someone gets a little success, and suddenly they're ghosting people who aren't on their level anymore. They cut off the friend who won't invest in their MLM scheme. They burn professional relationships over $50 disputes. They choose being right over staying connected. And then 10 years later, they're sitting in a big house, wondering why no one calls. Here's what Americans get catastrophically wrong about wealth. We think it's a solo sport. We've been fed this myth of the self-made billionaire grinding alone in a garage. But that's Hollywood fiction. Real wealth, lasting wealth, is built on relationships, and not the fake LinkedIn let's connect kind. The deep trust built over decades is kind. There's a teaching in Jewish tradition called Derech Eretz. It means the way of the land. But it's really about respectful conduct in all relationships. The rabbis tell a story about a merchant who spent 40 years building his reputation for fairness. Never cut a corner, never lied about a product, never prioritized a quick buck over a customer's trust. One day, a single recommendation from him secured a partnership worth over $1 million. 40 years of deposits for one massive withdrawal. That's wa, the Japanese concept of harmony in relationships. It's not about being fake or avoiding conflict. It's about playing the long game. It's choosing to preserve relationships even when your ego wants to win the argument. Because here's what the wealthy understand. A network built on trust compounds faster than any investment. Americans love to cut toxic people out. And yeah, sometimes that's necessary. But we've gotten trigger happy with it. Someone disagrees with us? Cut. Someone can't help us right now? Cut. Someone's going through a rough patch? Cut. We're so focused on protecting our energy that we're accidentally isolating ourselves from the very connections that create opportunities. Here's your wake-up call. The biggest deals happen because someone knew someone who trusted someone. The best job offers never hit LinkedIn. They happen because someone thought of you. The crucial advice that saves you from a bad investment? That comes from a friend who's been there. But none of that happens if you've scorched the earth behind you. Think about the last time you had a conflict over money. Maybe someone didn't pay you back, or a business deal went sideways. What did you do? Did you write them off immediately? Post vague, angry stuff on social media? Burn that bridge with gasoline and fireworks? The Japanese approach is different. Address the issue directly. Yes, but do it in a way that preserves the relationship. Because that person who can't pay you back $200 today might refer you to a $20,000 client in 5 years, but only if you didn't humiliate them when they were down. Here's your practical move. Audit your relationships in the past 5 years. How many people did you cut off over money or success differences? Now ask yourself honestly, did you gain more than you lost? I watched a friend refuse to loan his brother $1,000. Not because he didn't have it, he did, but because it's the principle. That brother never forgot. 10 years later, that brother owned a construction company and was hiring. Friend needed work. Brother hired someone else. That principle cost him way more than $1,000. The wealthy maintain relationships even when it's inconvenient. Not because they're pushovers. Because they understand that trust takes decades to build and seconds to destroy. Every relationship is a long-term investment. Some pay off immediately, some take 20 years, but you can't cash in what you already burned. And it's in the next section that many people make mistakes without even knowing it. Habit 7. Gaman, strategic patience over instant gratification. Because those relationships you just preserved, they mean nothing if you blow up your future for a quick win today. Let's talk about the American disease. We want everything now. Rich now, fit now, successful now. We see a 22-year-old crypto millionaire on Instagram and think, why am I not there yet? So we YOLO our savings into whatever's trending. Dogecoin, NFTs, that cousin's guaranteed investment opportunity. And then we're shocked when it all vanishes. Here's the brutal truth. Get rich quick is get broke quicker with better marketing. The Japanese have a concept that makes modern Americans physically uncomfortable. Gaman. It means enduring the unbearable with patience and dignity. It's the ability to delay gratification so long that everyone around you thinks you're crazy, until they see the results and wish they'd done the same. Americans are out here trying to speedrun wealth like it's a video game. Meanwhile, the Japanese are playing chess while we're playing slots. There's this story about Benjamin Franklin, one of America's own, by the way, who explained compound interest to a young man. He said, if you invest $5,000 today at 5% interest and never touch it, in 200 years it becomes $20 million. The young man laughed. But I'll be dead in 200 years. Franklin smiled. Exactly. That's why you're not rich. Okay, dramatic example, but here's the point. We're so obsessed with seeing results in our lifetime, no, in our week, that we sabotage the very mechanism that builds real wealth. Compound interest doesn't care about your impatience. Time does the heavy lifting, but only if you give it time. I know what you're thinking, but I saw someone make $50,000 in crypto overnight. Yeah, and I saw someone win the lottery. Neither are strategies. Both are gambling with a better PR team. Here's your reality check. Pull up any investment calculator online. Put in $500 monthly at 8% average return. At year one, you've got about $6,000. Boring, right? I could make that in a weekend with day trading. Sure, and you could also lose it by Tuesday. But look at year 30. That boring, consistent $500 monthly, it's now $734,000. That's $750,000 from just being patient and consistent. The Japanese practice Gaman, not because they enjoy suffering. They're not masochists. They do it because they've learned something Americans refuse to accept. The best things in life require you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable right now. You want a real action step? Delete your investment apps from your phone. Seriously. Log into your 401k or index fund once a quarter. That's it. Every time you check it daily, you're tempted to do something. And in investing, doing something usually means screwing something up. Set it, forget it, let time do its thing. There's a Japanese proverb, the bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists. When everyone's panicking and selling during a market dip, Gaman means you bend, you wait, you endure. When everyone's FOMOing into the hot new thing, Gaman means you resist the noise. The wealthy don't sprint, they compound. And compounding requires something our culture has almost bred out of us, the ability to wait. Not passively, strategically. You're not doing anything, you're doing the hardest thing, trusting the process long enough to see it work. True wealth whispers, wait. Broke screams, now. Do you see anything unusual? The answer is right here. Habit 8. Omotenashi, service. Because you can be patient all you want, but if you're not actually valuable to people, you're just waiting for nothing. Here's where most people get stuck. They've been told to work hard, so they clock in, do the bare minimum their job description requires, clock out, and wonder why they never get the raise, the promotion, or the opportunity. They're replaceable, and deep down, they know it. That's a terrifying place to be. Americans love to complain. I'm working so hard, why am I getting ahead? But if we're being honest, most of us are doing just enough. We answer emails, we show up on time, mostly, we complete our tasks, eventually. But we're not creating moments, we're not anticipating needs, we're not making people feel something. The Japanese have this principle called Omotenashi. It means hospitality, but it's way deeper than that. It's the art of anticipating what someone needs before they even ask for it. Its service is so excellent that people don't just pay you, they overpay you, they refer you, they remember you. I stayed at a hotel in Kyoto once. The front desk person, her name was Akiko, remembered my name after one conversation. 3 days later, she saw me in the lobby, looking stressed, and said, "Mr. James, you missed breakfast. I saved you a pastry." I didn't ask, she noticed. That pastry cost the hotel maybe 50 cents. My tip? $50. My review online? Glowing. My recommendation to 6 friends? Priceless. That's Omotenashi. That's how you become irreplaceable. There's a story in the Chicken Soup for the Soul collection about a shoe shine guy at an airport. He didn't just shine shoes, he memorized customers' names, asked about their families, and gave advice on shoe care. People would wait 20 minutes for him, specifically when there were 3 other shoe shine stations empty. He made 6 figures. Shining shoes. Why? Because he made people feel seen. Here's your uncomfortable truth. You're probably doing just enough at your job. You hit deadlines, you complete tasks, but are you creating experiences? Are you solving problems people didn't even know they had yet? Try this experiment at work this week. Don't wait to be asked. If you see a problem forming, solve it before your boss mentions it. If a client might need something, send it before they request it. If a coworker is drowning, jump in without keeping score. Watch what happens. At first, nothing. People might not even notice. But over time, you become the person people think of first. The one they trust. the one they fight to keep when layoffs happen, the one they refer to for opportunities. Here's the secret the wealthy understand. Excellence isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters in a way that makes people feel something. You could work 80 hours a week doing average work, or 40 hours doing exceptional work that people remember. A waiter who just takes orders and brings food? Replaceable. A waiter who remembers you don't like ice in your water, suggests the dish you didn't know you wanted, and makes you laugh? That's someone you ask for by name. That's someone who gets 30% tips instead of 15%. That's someone who gets promoted to manager. The path to premium income isn't working harder at what everyone else does. It's making people feel like they matter. Omotenashi isn't a technique. It's a decision to see people, anticipate their needs, and exceed their expectations so consistently that you become unforgettable. You want to know why you're not getting paid what you're worth? Maybe you're worth exactly what you're getting. But the moment you start creating value that can't be measured on a spreadsheet, the moment you make people feel something, that's when your income stops being capped by a salary and starts being determined by your irreplaceability. All of the above will be meaningless if you miss the last detail. Habit 9: community investment. Because here's the final twist nobody talks about. You can have all the money in the world and still be absolutely miserable. And misery makes terrible financial decisions. I see this all the time. People climbing the ladder, stacking their bank accounts, optimizing every dollar, and then they look around and realize they're completely alone. No real friends, no community, just a big house, a fat portfolio, and a creeping sense that something's deeply wrong. Americans have this backwards idea that wealth means independence. I don't need anybody, I'm self-sufficient. We wear isolation like a badge of honor. Meanwhile, we're the most anxious, medicated, lonely generation in history. And lonely people make expensive mistakes. Think about it. When you're isolated, who do you call when you're about to make a dumb investment? When you're spiraling at 3 a.m., thinking about quitting your job? When do you need honest advice about money? Nobody. So you make decisions in an echo chamber of your own worst fears. And it costs you. Big time. Here's the expensive reality of loneliness. Higher healthcare costs because stress destroys your body. Impulsive purchases because shopping fills the void temporarily. Bad investments because you're desperate to belong to something, even if it's a sketchy crypto Discord. Therapist bills. Medication. The cost of loneliness isn't emotional, it's financial. The Japanese figured this out centuries ago. Wealth isn't just about having money, it's about having people. They invest heavily in community. Neighborhood associations, lifelong friend groups, and multi-generational family bonds. And here's what's wild. Those communities save them money. Need childcare? Community. Need advice on a business decision? Community. Need someone to check on your elderly parents? Community. There's this parable Jesus told about the Good Samaritan. A man gets robbed, beaten, and left for dead. Religious people walk by, too busy, not their problem. Then this random Samaritan, an outsider, someone with no obligation, stops, bandages him, takes him to an inn, pays for his recovery, check on him later. The lesson isn't just be nice, it's this: investment in people returns multiplied. That Samaritan probably never saw direct financial payback from that stranger, but he built a reputation, a network, a community of people who knew he was reliable. And in ancient times, that was currency, that was survival insurance. Here's your hard truth. If something terrible happened to you tomorrow, health crisis, job loss, family emergency, how many people could you actually call? Not contacts, not LinkedIn connections, real people who'd show up. If your answer is less than 5, you're financially vulnerable in a way no emergency fund can fix. Start small. This week, invest in one relationship, not networking, actual friendship. Text someone you've lost touch with, not hey, let's catch up sometime, which means never. Set an actual date, have coffee, ask how they're really doing, listen, be present, join something local, a book club, a running group, a volunteering organization. Not for networking, for connection. The ROI might take 5 years, it might take 20. But here's what the Japanese know that we've forgotten. The richest person isn't the one with the most money. It's the one with the most people who genuinely care if they wake up tomorrow. A wealthy American once told me, "I have 7 figures in the bank and nobody to celebrate with. I'd trade half of it for one real friend." Don't let that be your story. So there you have it, 9 Japanese habits that build wealth without the burnout, not through grinding harder, but through living smarter. Kaizen's tiny improvements, Mottainai's respect for resources, Ikigai's purposeful income. These aren't just money tips, they're life principles that compound into freedom. Here's your move. Pick one habit, just one. Apply it this week. Maybe it's starting a Kakeibo journal. Maybe it's your first Hansai reflection. Maybe it's finally texting that friend you've lost touch with. Small steps, massive results. If this opened your eyes to a different way of building wealth, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because I'm breaking down more wealth principles the rich don't want you knowing. Comment Kaizen money if you're committing to that 1% daily improvement, and let me know which habit you're starting with. I read every comment. Remember, wealth doesn't shout. It whispers. The Japanese figured this out centuries ago. Now it's your turn to listen.